Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Talks Live. I am Roger Wakefield. If it sounds a little noisy, it is what it is. I am at Skills USA. Squirt, how does it sound? Do I sound okay, or do you hear all the construction going?
You sound good. We can hear a little construction. Nothing out of the norm. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's almost like we're on a job site.
Yeah.
I mean, we got this is the plumbers competition where I'm at right now, and man, I've been shooting a lot of good video. But those of y'all that have never been here before, welcome to the Trade Talks Live. We're glad that you're here. We talk about the trades and all the trades each and every day. And the good thing is we do this for a reason. We truthfully feel that if you will get up and study your niche, your industry, your trade for 30 minutes to an hour every day, you're going to move up to being the very top of your industry because you're going to learn more than other people. You're going to learn, and it's not that you're learning everything about everything, but there's less out there that you don't know anything about. So we put this together and we get to do it because of y'all. If you've been here before, welcome back. I see, of course, that we have Kevin Hawthorne in here. Good to see you as always. Lakeland, Florida. And Mr. Derek Sutton. Man, starting off great. Both the guys are in Florida. You got to love it. I love Florida. And I'm stuck in Atlanta, Georgia. But it's not a bad deal.
I was going to say, not stuck, not too bad.
When I get invited to do stuff like this is amazing. I've had so many people come up to me, and I mean, of course, I'm in the plumbing area. They come up and say, "Oh my gosh, you're the reason I got into plumbing," and I love that. I've actually had a couple of people say, "Well, where's Squirt at?"
Ooh,
I'm like,
nice.
Who? I'm like, who? You mean Henry? He's in a truck outside. It's got his name on it.
That's it. I know. Everybody, good morning. I'm Henry Wakefield. So he thought I was in Atlanta this morning working because there was a Henry truck outside.
I told him I thought I was getting stood up for my live stream.
That's it. Yeah, everybody, good morning. Hope you're having a fabulous hump day so far. Yes, it's hump day. It's all downhill from here, old man. Pay attention. I'm Henry Wakefield, 20-year pipe fitter by trade. Now I run Leak Pro, and we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But also, if you're not familiar with it, guys, give us a call because I do a 2-day in-person training where I'll teach you how to locate lines, pinpoint locate leaks, and how to promote this in your area, and even how to find it in sewer systems. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. How's Atlanta going so far?
You know what? Atlanta's great. It always is. I love this competition. There are 6,800 competitors this year.
Wow.
And it's everything from baking, cake decorating, to welding sculptures, to plumbing, electrical, HVAC,
all skills.
Automotive, all skills.
I love that.
All trades. Exactly what we talk about.
Yep.
So
that's
this
awesome.
is really, really, really neat. I love it. Last year or the year before, I got to go over and watch the drone competition where they've got this big netted in area, and then they've got a drone obstacle course. So there is so much cool stuff. Got to see Mike Rose speak last night. He was the opening keynote. So, man, just to be here and be a part of this has really, really been neat. And look, I love it. You need to definitely come next year. People are asking about you. So, we may have to go ahead and put that on the calendar.
Good deal.
So I want to say hello to Mr. Matt McDonough, my brother. What is up? Says Mr. Miyagi of Plum and Squirt. What's up, brothers? Happy Hump Day, gentlemen. Got a question. Have you ever seen anyone install a lift station without a check valve? Yeah, I have seen it. It doesn't work very well.
No.
It will cycle on and off all day long. On and off all day long. It never stops. So yes, I have seen that.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it.
Burn a pump up quick.
Yeah. It says go Leak Pro. Absolutely. And look, guys, if you want to do what we do, learn how to do YouTube. And I made a free webinar. Go check it out at www.justmattroger.com. I'll dispel some of the myths that you have. Yeah, 6,800 competitors. Kind of wild.
That's
All right, I'm going to go ahead and jump into national news.
Oh man, yes. I got a good one for you today.
Okay, let me hear it.
Northeast heat wave. Midday construction pauses in DC and Boston. And you're going to kind of laugh about this, you know, even over in Georgia.
No, I've already read through it.
Okay, that's good. Like the overview here, guys, a brutal heat wave has settled over the U.S. in the Northeast, with record temperatures forcing contractors in D.C. and Boston and Philadelphia to pause construction activity during the peak hours. Peak hours, they're shutting down like 12 to 4 because the heat index got up to 105.
You know, Randy,
Now,
I'll tell you what, and I don't mean this bad, but look, up north, they look for reasons not to work. I mean, if it's too cold outside, if it's too cold outside, they lay them off. That way they can draw unemployment for 3 or 4 months. Pretty soon, New York and Boston are going to be like, yeah, it's too hot in the summers. Lay us off. We'll draw unemployment for 2 months. Then we'll come back and do it again. Yeah, look at Matt. Let me guess. They can't handle the heat.
Yeah. So
if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen.
That's it. Some municipalities have issued official heat advisories, while job site managers are voluntarily halting work between 12 and 4 to avoid heat stroke and any liability. Now, if you're sitting out there, the reason that we kind of laugh is we're from Texas. We were born here. We were raised here. We've dealt with 100 days of triple digits in a row with no rain, no breaks, no nothing.
Randy, I remember working outside.
Are we built different?
I remember working outside when the heat index was like 115.
Yes.
Okay. Drink more water. That's it.
Yep. More water, more shade, fans. Like all my apprentices, because I sweat a lot, they would figure out, man, keep a fan pointed on that guy all day long. And I'd just have apprentices come over and they'd kind of turn the fan and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But they knew I'm working. I'm in work mode. I'm not focused real hard on that. But they're like, look, I'm going to keep air on this guy all day long. But some of the key facts: Boston hit 96 degrees with 80% humidity, pushing the heat index over 105. And you know, this has created OSHA renewing its call for employers to implement water, rest, and shade standards. And guys, this is something that we learned really quick down here in Texas. You have to take the breaks. You've got to create mini breaks in your day to just cool down because the heat is so high. A lot of the local unions are pushing for stricter enforcement on mandated breaks and shaded rest zones. This is how you take care of that. You don't just shut the job down. You create a good spot for them to go and cool down, and you don't gripe about it. If they're at the water cooler 10 minutes, guess what? They probably need to cool off. It's fine. Don't get mad. When they're working, let them work. So how are a lot of companies adapting? Larger contractors are adjusting some shift times, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I don't like that personally.
Oh, God, no.
If you're doing that to me, I'll just let me be a night shift worker, please. I will change my days to do this, to stay in the cool times. I don't want to do half and half.
That is just completely crazy.
Yeah, a 6-hour break in the middle of my workday. Now, I mean, that may be good for the body, but how does that really feel for the mind? Because now you're working from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. with that break in the middle. I wouldn't like it.
Now, in Mexico, they take a 2 or 3 hour break, the siesta.
Yeah.
But they go home, they take a nap.
Yep.
Go home,
to refresh, recharge.
Get up and go back to work. But it's just a couple of hours.
Yep.
You know?
That's it. 6 hours is a long time. I can remember the first place I ever worked where it was a mandatory 2-hour lunch. And at first I'm going, what am I going to do with 2 hours? Who takes 2 hours to eat?
Yeah.
There's no way.
I know.
Then I figured out, Hey, there's a disc golf course close by. You can go play a whole round of disc golf and still eat and still get back and have plenty of time for your 2 hours.
Yeah.
I shifted
It's
it,
not a-
changed it, created some new things.
I'm wondering, does OSHA not work in Texas? Because I mean, we've had heat down here for a long time, and I ain't never heard them worry about it.
That's it. Like, and they do, but that's why they're starting to re-implement this work, cool, shade, water. You've got to keep water. You know, they super promote having popsicles, things like that on the job also. You know, you're going to need some extra electrolytes, you know, but you've also got to remember whenever you're trying to drink that and cool down, you have to have water too. Don't
Yes.
mix into everything that you drink. You need to have 1-to-1 bare minimum. I prefer a 2-to-1, 2 waters
Yeah.
to 1 electrolyte, Gatorade, whatever it is that you're drinking.
And I'm gonna just say one thing about this, then we'll move over to the website reviews. Guys, pull the ruffles off your panties. Go to freaking work.
Yep.
Okay, we got stuff to do.
That's it.
I don't mean it bad, but it's like, guys, I have never let work or heat slow us down. Never. So anyway, all right, website review. And I like this. This is one we've done before, constructionknowledge.net. And I say we have. I know I've looked at this one before.
We've probably covered it. It's probably been a while though. I feel like it's been a while.
No, I think so too.
Mhm.
But it's an old school looking site, best for instructors and learners, which I mean, it's all right there in front of you. Covers everything from concrete, excavation, crane, rigging, welding, plumbing, and a little bit more.
Yes.
Perfect for training shops, field manuals, quick lessons. One cool thing about being here, Randy, so many instructors come up and want to shake my hand. They say, we use your videos in our training. So many students say, oh my gosh, my instructors show your videos every night. So, man, we're doing something good.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Whenever they do that, ask them if there's any that they need.
Yeah.
For when
Good
it comes
stuff.
to the
Good.
instructors, just ask them,
No,
yeah,
no, I
are
love
there
that.
any that you need us to do? Like, just a quick thought side. Welcome to YouTube, guys.
No, I love that. I do. That's a
it.
good thing to do.
Uh,
Trade math, which is great. Test prep, which, man, we talk about a lot. Blueprint reading, which was one of the very first things that I taught in the union. And just all kinds of stuff. So they got some really neat stuff. And I like that also, too, that they have sample syllabuses put together for the different classrooms. So if a new instructor doesn't really know what to teach and they're not giving him the information, they can get it all right there. What do you like about this site?
I like the simple layout. If you want to come in here and learn something like I'm doing right here, click the construction knowledge base. Come down to what you want to learn. You want to learn some general technical knowledge? Let's do that. Like you were just bringing up basic math. That's where I was just headed. It's like, man, the thing that everybody loves and hates the most, math. I love it. It never changes. The rules are simple. But here you go.
Whatever 1 + 1 equals today, 6 years from now, it's going to be the same thing.
Same thing. No different. Doesn't matter who runs the equation. As long
That's
as they're
right.
following the right rules, it's going to be the same. But going through here and just learning some of the different things. If you're like, I have a lot of guys, they're like, well, what kind of math do I need to learn? What things should I learn? What should I be studying? Guys, they kind of lay it out here for you to quickly and easily go through here and start learning how to do some things that are actually going to be applicable in the real construction world. That's what I love about this site, because it's simple, it's easy to follow, and it's all laid out there for you to go exploring. So especially for you youngsters, man, pass this on. Take a look.
Good stuff.
Browse through
I
it.
like this.
Check out the different things. That's it. It is. It's a good site. And I just love how simple the layout is. It's simple, easy to follow.
And it's a good one.
The superintendent's checklist. That's another one of my favorite things about this site. If you are already in the trades and stuff like that, you're trying to climb the ranks. Go through here and check this out. If it's not something that you're learning on your way up, is learning from that superintendent directly, what are the tasks and things that you go through and check on? You're not going to know. This will give you a good idea to jump in here and actually see some of the questions that they ask for your trade. And that's why I like this so much.
All right.
So,
But
yeah.
before I move on to business growth, I'm gonna jump in the chat real quick. Got a lot of good comments. First, Matt, yeah, 6,800 contestants, which is fantastic. Let me guess, they can't handle the heat. You know, it's what it sounds like. I know, Lori, it's very funny. This is wild. Yes, 105. Now, man, we probably have a 105 heat index 3 months straight, at least.
Yeah. Bare minimum.
Yeah. Yeah. Derek says, yes, we are built different. Yes, sir, we
I
are.
saw that. I love it.
I know, me too. I couldn't wait to get to that. Matt says, I think it's crazy how Texas is. Phoenix isn't any better, but wow, 105, that's a cool breeze. Yes. I know where you're coming from, brother.
Yep.
Lori says, this is funny, but reminds me of those who couldn't do anything in the snow either, because Lori's up in the Oregon area.
Uh-huh.
And then Matt says, OSHA always told us in the AC maintenance on casinos, 1 to 2 hours in the sun, 30-minute water breaks in the shade.
Yep.
And I like that because after a couple hours, you can feel it. But man, I never got on guys for taking water breaks. It's like, look, and any time that we do that, we made sure water breaks were over in a shaded area, in a building with AC, something like that, just to get them out of it for a while.
Yep. If not, there are fans set up moving some air. Like,
Yeah, keep people cool.
Yep.
Mr. Incredible says math is math. As far as I know, it's not going to change a lot. I think this is a great website to learn. Yeah, Derek, it really is.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so cool thing here. Business growth, networking and partnerships, growing through collaboration. Now, I remember when I started networking, Julie told me, she said, look, you need to get out and network. Well, I looked at her out networking, and I'm like, Julia, it works, but it doesn't work a lot. I don't see that it'd be that beneficial to me. And finally, she was going to a networking event one night. She said, look, this is going to be a good one. So I went. And I told her when we walked in, I said, look, you go your way. I'm going mine. I'm on network. Don't bug me, and I won't bug you. And Randy, people would come up and they see the plumbing shirt. And it's like, oh my God, you're a plumber. I'll be like, nope, I'm a drug dealer. The shirt just throws the police on. and they'd laugh about it. But we'd end up standing there talking. Whenever we left about 2.5 hours later, Julie literally said, Roger, every time I looked over, you had a crowd around you. You're waving your hands. You're talking. What are you talking about? I said, well, people ask me about plumbing. So I just start talking about it.
Yep.
And it was really interesting, but it's exactly what it was. Networking and collaborations are amazing. Getting out, getting in front of people, because I hate to tell y'all this, around the country, most people do not have a good plumber that they trust. And if you'll get out and get in front of people and just talk to them, get to know them, it can be great. So partnership with GCs, realtors, or other trades can lead to referrals and joint bids. Guys, that first night that I went out networking, I got 3 service calls off of it the next week. It happens that quick. But attending builder expos, supplier breakfast, or even local permit office meetings. If they're having a meeting that you can be involved with, get down there, get seen, let people see you, hear you, and let them get to know you. And then you can track your referral partners in CRMs. If they hadn't sent out work in 90 days, reach out to them. Say, hey, man, just checking in to see how everything is going. A plumber in Colorado Springs grew from 2 to 7 technicians in 18 months, just from one HVAC company, consistently referring customers his way. And the reason that I love this is because I tell people all the time, don't just grow up, grow out. If you're a plumber by an HVAC company, now you cross market to the other's customers. And it really does work. Randy, what do you think? You've been to trade shows. How is it to get out and network with some of these product manufacturers, people like that? It's different.
It is. It's great to be in that space, though, because you're learning the latest and greatest that's coming out. And that's what I learned more from these other conferences. AI is coming out so fast. Guess what? If you're not kind of tuned into it, you have no clue it's going on. And that's how it is with these manufacturers. They came out with a new tool, but were you tuned in enough to actually know that that next tool that's going to save you half of the labor for this one step of the install, you didn't even know it was out yet because you're not plugged in. Networking is one of the best ways because everybody's bringing something different to the table to help share the knowledge and expand that bank and keep everybody working. And whenever you create that tight network in that group, it's great.
I love it. All right, service work. And this is what I love. I mean, I love service work. But do you charge more for high-rise or crawl-space services? Because if you're not, you should. These jobs require a lot of times special access, special PPE, extra setup time, and they can be more risky. These jobs are really important. They've got to be done, but if you're not charging enough to cover yourself, you're going to be losing money. If you're in a high rise, you've got elevator wait time. A lot of times you have parking issues.
Yep.
You can't just pull down right in front of it like you can a house, park, get out, and walk in. It doesn't work that way. So they can eat. Just elevator time can run an additional hour a day, maybe even more, depending on how big it is and how many elevators they have. What are your thoughts, George?
Man, that and like even getting on a roof, are you charging extra more for it or not? Because guess what? That's an extra liability chance there. I know that whenever you did companies, you always had a roof fee. Like anytime anybody gets on a roof, here's the fee for it. Period. It doesn't matter. Everybody pays this. Because that one incident that does happen whenever it happens, that's got to be figured into that. And I agree 100%, especially like crawl spaces. Even normal job sites sometimes, guess what? Weather happens. You come back, your ditch is full of water. What do you got to do? Well, guys, it's a pump day. Let's start pumping all this water out. Absolutely. We got to get all this stuff out of our way so that we can actually try to come in here and work tomorrow. And let's try to be as productive as we can. Like crawl spaces.
Crawl spaces, Randy. Yeah. I've had crawl spaces we had to pump out. Big time.
You've got to go in and put lights in, especially if you're doing a lot of work under there. If it's just a quick repair, just a couple lights, that's going to have you covered. But if you're doing a repipe, you need a lot of lights under there so you can see everything you're doing. You can see, and you don't have to mess with anything. And you can see around each other too if you've got more people.
And the inspector's going to want a lot of lights too.
That's it. Tyvek suits. One of the things we do a lot is we lay plastic out. Lay out bisqueen so that you got this great space so that you don't have to put on that Tyvek suit. Because I keep a lot of stuff in my pockets and I want to be able to get to it. So I lay plastic. That's time that has to be covered in that pricing. So make sure that you are charging adequately for high-rise work, all the extra labor that you don't see because of logistics. That was something that I learned in estimating is how difficult is it? Because I worked in a lot of existing space. How difficult was it to walk from the front office to where you actually walked that job? How long did that take? Keep that in mind because every guy out there is going to take that long walking from the front to the back to where they got to work. So you've got to think about that. Then they need materials. They need tools. They need this. Where was the dock? You've got to think about the logistic requirements for this.
And Randy, I like this. And I like the quote you got. Standard access pricing doesn't apply in unstandard conditions.
Yep.
And that's okay to say out loud. Randy, when you're an estimator, and pipe is going in at 10 foot bottom of pipe above finished floor, and you're an estimator and that pipe's going in at 18 foot bottom of pipe, there's different pricing there, isn't there?
There is. You got to check ceiling height. Then you think rods and hangers, things like that. But the longer the hanger rods, guess what? Seriously, the more time it actually takes because getting all the pieces and parts put together and everything, you've got to figure every single part and piece. But like one of the high-rise things, whenever you're doing even a new build, once you hit a certain floor, you have to start increasing small percents of labor because it's going to take your guys longer to get to that floor. So that's
Absolutely.
a good way to think about it and look at it.
All right, materials, equipment, and tools. And this is a good question. I've never thought about this. Are you sharpening blades or just tossing them? So your utility blades, your pipe cutters, your drill bits, circular saw blades, many can be sharpened up to 3 to 5 times. Randy, have you ever sharpened blades or had them sent off to sharpen?
I have sharpened blades, but mainly like blades that I use to cut insulation, things like that. Because I would go into a lot of existing spaces, so I would actually use knives for a lot of things in my normal operations. So I make sure to have a knife sharpener. But I learned that from the insulators. One of the things that they taught you is, look, if you want a clean cut on insulation, you just need a sharp knife. That's the key to it. You want to keep your insulator happy, because I was a heavy piping guy, so I would have to cut into it a lot.
Yep.
Luckily, I knew exactly how they would cut it, and I learned from them so that I didn't have to worry about that. But trying to keep those, yeah, you've got to make sure. And you don't want to toss stole blades if you can sharpen them.
It is pretty interesting because you can get a bench set up for $100. They don't cost much. The little sharpeners like you're talking in for a knife and something.
Yep.
I mean, they make some that are $15, $20. It's not going to get it like razor blade sharp, but it'll get it sharp enough. It'll do the job very, very well.
That's it.
And it saves you time and money because you're going to get faster doing what you do.
That's it. And even if you don't want to buy the sharpener, you can rent some and sharpen all your blades while you have it, and just maintain the tools that you've got in your inventory in your shop. If you got a bunch, that's a good idea. But if you really have a bunch, it's a good idea to go ahead and buy that sharpener so you've got it there instead of just renting it once or twice a year. You've got it there all the time, and you can sharpen every quarter or something like that.
I love it. That is so cool. I want to remind everybody, look, guys, I am at Skills USA. I'm in Atlanta, and I get to come do stuff like this because of what I started doing on YouTube. And I literally started YouTube just over 7 years ago. I walked into a conference because I was trying to grow my business. And it's funny now because I've heard Mr. Beast talk about every business in the world should have a YouTube channel. Guys, it's the second largest search engine in the world. And if you're not being found for it, it's crazy. If you're on YouTube, open up another tab and go over and just search plumbing and see what you find. I did that to some people in here yesterday, and they're literally like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And it's like, guys, we're just very consistent at what we do. A lot of people, even just the other day, yesterday here, people were telling me, yeah, I can't do YouTube. I don't have the gear. I don't have this. I don't have this. Guys, that's a misconception. To be honest, you can start doing YouTube with your phone, with your iPad, with your laptop. That's exactly how I started. Now we've grown. We do things a lot different now, but that's exactly how I started. I started that way because that's what I had. That's what I could afford. And I didn't have a lot of followers. I didn't have a lot of views, but we were able to work on it and keep improving and get better. So if you're interested in doing YouTube, go to www.justmetroger.com. I can help teach you a little bit in a free webinar about how to learn how to do YouTube. Squirt, tell us about Leak Pro now.
Man, as all I was about to say is, look, we even have you on a laptop today, baby, and looking good.
All by myself.
That's it. Solo.
It's easy. It's easy to do.
That's it. Yes, everybody, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks, where we build the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit. It comes with both pieces of equipment that we build. That probe, which is a T-handle style with a stainless steel rod. It's real durable. We prefer that for that meter to the home service, irrigation lines, anything like that that's just under the grade itself. Now, whenever you start getting into slabs, you're listening through a driveway, sidewalk, or even the slab in the home, you're going to want that sidekick that comes in that kit. And it's the pistol grip style with an aluminum rod. But that aluminum rod enhances the sound even more, which eliminates that layer of concrete when you're trying to locate some leaks. So check out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. But guys, if you're not familiar with the process of leak detection and how to go about doing it, give me a call. I do a 2-day in-person training where I can take you from not knowing anything about it to being able to go out and pinpoint locate leaks on a slab. I've got 11 leaks underneath a super thick slab, so it's going to be frustrating during the process, but you're going to leave with the confidence and be ready to go out and do leak detection. We go through, we do line locating, pinpoint leak detection under the slab, outside of the slab also, and then even teach you how to determine exactly where a sewer system's leaking and how to promote all this in your local area so that you're the one getting called for leak detection. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. I'd be happy to discuss the equipment or the training with you.
All right. MEP. MEP, clash prevention during core drilling. What pros do right. And if you've coordinated a building right, I mean, if you've done the coordination drawings, you've got all the right people together, guys, this should never be a problem. But where I've seen plumbers make mistakes is laying out in the wrong spot. And that can get expensive, especially if you drop a core into a finished room or something.
Mm-hmm.
Squirt, tell us about the MEP clash prevention and how you help superintendents and things get through it, either as an estimator or when you're a superintendent on the job.
And, you know, like we've all ran into it that time. You had some sleeves put in and stuff, and then you came to run your pipe through and something was already there. I've seen it time and time again. Coordination is the key. Label it, claim it. If you're putting the sleeves, it's yours. But you've got to discuss that with a lot of people and make sure that your measurements are on point. Because if you actually put your sleeve where somebody else was supposed to be, guess what? That's their sleeve now. That's where the drawings tell them to be. Misalignment is a bad thing. Fire stop fails for cores, things like that. If it's your core, it's your pipe, it's your penetration, it's your fire stop most of the time, unless it's included by the GC from a third party or something, and they're going to fire stop everything. But if it's yours, own it. Don't waste time. Run an MEP walkthrough before the layout gets chalked. Mark it, color code it if you want to. You know, example like blue for plumbing, red for fire, green for electrical, or however you want. It's your world. Pick a color for everybody though, or have a mark every single core, who owns it, what it's for, things like that. And by doing that, you're going to know exactly which core's for what. Take photos before that you drill and share it with any other trades. Let people know what all you've got going. We saved a lot of money just by letting other companies know, hey, we got a core driller coming out next week to do this. We could probably all save some money if we all get all our cores done together and we got it at a discounted rate, because it's like, oh, I'm sending them out for 4 different companies. Hey, great. Yeah, let's do that. Because then I don't have to charge all the transport back and forth. I don't have to include windshield time. He's not going anywhere. He's going there for 4 different jobs. Yeah, I'll pay him to drive out there for y'all. Don't worry.
Such a good way to do it.
That's
Anytime
it.
that you can get one company out there and have them do a bunch of things. But I'll tell you what I even like better than the core drilling is getting in early with the total station and laying out the sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
That way you don't have to deal with it.
Sleeves are what I love, like more than anything, and that's been involved on both ends. We used to have to core drill our own holes. And another thing about coring, drill a pilot hole first and go downstairs and take a look at where that comes through. Is that really where you wanted it or not? Just that one can save thousands of dollars, because going back and patching a core that you just accidentally laid out wrong, it costs time and money, guys. But a good example here, a GC had hired a sub to drill without checking the layout. $4,200 was lost when they cored through a finished room below. Do that pilot. Go downstairs and check. Buy a long bit. It is so nice. Oh my gosh. And then you just put some tape over and it'll let the water stay there while you core drill. It's so amazing how that works.
Yeah. Make sure you know what you're doing and where.
That's it. And also confirm the sleeve diameter. Make sure it's big enough to do everything you need. I had to worry about that a lot because insulation. I would always have insulated pipes penetrating the floors, and it's like, okay, does this one have to be insulated all the way through the penetration or not? How are we doing it? What's the plan here? Make sure that you accommodate for everything that you need to go through that hole.
I want to, before I roll into where the work is, I want to reply to KA's comment here. KA says, I emailed the PHCC about joining their apprenticeship program last night. Super pumped. I have 3 years of pipelining experience and want to get serious about it. I'm serious about the trade. Union or PHCC. And my thought is, if you're pipelining, I don't know that either one of them. Maybe PHCC, because PHCC may have more residential. Now, depending on where you're at, I would find out if the residential plumbing company is there or if the union has residential. I was the first residential contractor in Dallas, and the union, it didn't help me. I mean, it really hurt me. So what I would do is I would literally just look at it and say, hey, are there any residential service companies that are signatory contractors? Because that's what you want. If not, what I would do is I would probably reach out to the largest residential service plumbing companies in those areas. So, KA, tell us where you're at. I don't remember. I know that we've talked before, but that's where I would start at. So, where's the work?
Man, warehouse to light manufacturing conversions. And not even just light manufacturing conversions. They're doing some of these for like Airbnbs, residential, retail, manufacturing. They are converting warehouses to everything nowadays. I love to see this though. I like taking some old things and repurposing them.
Oh yeah.
And changing it for something new, a new way to look at it. Being trades background, having concrete floors doesn't bother me any. So it's a different mindset, I guess, from a lot of different things, but I love some of these conversions. But this can really be some hidden gold for electricians, especially going to the small manufacturing, because I've worked in a lot of industrial facilities, this manufacturing plants. So much power is needed for the process lines. For whatever it is they're building and manufacturing, they need power. Luckily for piping guys, a lot of that stuff, they want air also, maybe nitrogen for packaging, depending on if it's food and stuff. There's so many different things that this can create, but it's great for electricians. And these projects often start quiet, but they are super wire heavy. Okay. A lot of examples here: cannabis labs, food packaging, laser cutters, print shops. They're all needing upgrades. They're looking for the zoning changes and small manufacturer grant announcements from the city websites. That's how you can kind of find out where some of these conversions are going to go on. A good tip on the bidding: offer a lighting audit and breaker load calculation up front. It makes you look like a full service consultant. You're going to go in there, you're going to do all this to figure out everything that actually has to be done. And you're going to document that. They like to see that. You can also add on some services, install EV charging for fleet, add wireless access points, offer surge protection for the industrial printers and machines. Whenever you're converting a warehouse to a manufacturing facility, they need quite a bit of work to upgrade those spaces. Plumbers, things like that, y'all don't necessarily miss out either, because a lot of those spaces, they got to go back and add drains and stuff like this. So you got to actually go in, tear into the floor, and make some new modifications. So really, you can find a lot of work in these warehouse transitions.
Pretty neat stuff. And I'm like you. I love seeing the old warehouses. I mean, me and you stayed in some that was an old warehouse turned into condos now. So it's just neat stuff. All right, instructor training. And I like this topic: letting apprentices teach. The 5-minute reverse mentorship drill. And the cool thing about it is you can pick one apprentice each week to explain a tool, a skill, or a term. Okay? Capillary action. What is it? And that's one thing, Grant's dad used to ask me that all the time. But have them show how to solder. Maybe wire a switch leg or explain service valves and what the different positions are. Record it for playback. That way, not just the other students can see it, but so they can see it. And it adds accountability and it builds leadership. Why do you think it works, Bert?
Honestly, like, you teach others, but they learn the most when they teach others too. And that's the key to it. Like, one of my favorites is something you said about valve position or placement or something. I can remember apprentices asking me, man, like, if I'm putting this valve, which direction should it face? And it's like, okay, apprentice, let me teach you one time, and this is something you can teach everybody that ever asks you that question. Act like you're the maintenance man for just a minute. You need to run up and turn that valve off. Where do you want that valve and how do you want it to face? And they're like, oh, well, I'd put it just like this. It's like, then that's how I would install it. Oh my gosh, that's great. And I've had journeymen ask me this. I'm like, yeah, now you can teach them. Look, act like you're the maintenance guy real quick and you need to hurry up and shut that off. How do you want it to look and face? And is it accessible? That's the keys to the whole thing. It's like, look, we put in this system, but it's mainly to be able to operate and use the system. So put on that lens and aspect. And I've always thought that was really good. And they would love to teach others that. But when that apprentice is teaching others, they're going to retain the information even better. It helps reactivate the memory. It's going to build some communication, the confidence. Major is it's going to reveal gaps. The spot that they didn't remember, they're going to struggle and they're going to get, oh yeah. And next it was feed it to them, give it to them, give them that next step so that they can fill that gap in. And then that's going to help build that confidence. Like we were saying, a good success story here is, like teaching a skill and blew away the senior guys. Like I was just saying about the apprentice, the next journeyman that was just like, man, I don't know how to face this. I'm sure that apprentice just looked up and said, hey, if you're the maintenance guy, where would you want it? How would you face it? Oh, well, I'd probably want to do it. Then that's how we should do it. I've talked to the superintendent one time. That's what he told me. And it blows their minds. My favorite was the journeyman that tried to pick on me as an apprentice coming in because they thought I was green, but I wasn't that green, was the welding rod. And I did it, but I popped my collar up real quick, and them old men got so mad at me for wasting welding rod. And I thought that was great. I'm like, yeah, I'm wasting it or y'all are. So let's figure that one out. But it blew their minds because I was young when I got in, and they're just like, holy crap. Like, how do you know that? How'd you figure that out? And it's like, I thought about what all was going to happen if I did that because I'm not super gullible anymore. I may still be young, but I'm pretty sharp. And when you can blow the old men away, you're a pretty cool apprentice on the job.
Mm-hmm. Matt says, don't forget fire caulking on certain penetrations. Yeah, fire caulking is a big deal. We do talk about that.
Yep.
Lori McNeil says it's about memory recall being increased by teaching, but stronger when going through the actions. Absolutely. And Matt says it's a great way of training. Letting apprentices teach is awesome. I did it all the time. Yeah, anytime you can put them in front of people and let them display what they do or talk about it. Great way to do it.
Yeah.
Squirt, talk about specialty, will you?
Something Matt's dealing with on a pretty regular basis here lately. A good specialty, installing lift stations in flat terrain when the gravity isn't enough. And as Matt's already stated in this show today, you need a check valve. Do not forget the check valve. But if it's a flat site, like we deal with it a lot when we're talking about basements, things like that, we don't have them here. But that's my major thought here because it's pretty flat. I don't see mountains on a normal basis. I never knew that the mountains went all the way to the ocean. That's how long I've been in Texas. But for flat places, you've got to deal with some lift stations to get the sewage pumping far enough, things like that, or anything, any water, any drainage, anything, whatever. But there's no natural drop for any drains, then you're going to have lift stations. Using duplex systems with redundant pumps. That way, if one goes out, you've got another one there that's still keeping everything going so that it doesn't flood the whole space super bad and you can't get the water out of the area to deal with it. Install a high level alarm and check valves on each and every line. You've got to have everything to know whenever it actually is getting high, when it's supposed to kick on. And then, some people, Matt, may even want an extra alarm that's like, look, if it gets up to here, trigger me so that I know that pump's not discharging the right way. That's a good thing to think of. But also don't forget the odor control trap loop. Your customers will thank you later. Creating that trap so that it doesn't let all the smells run all the time. It's huge. Good pro tip here is install lift stations with swing check valves and cleanouts on both sides so that you don't have to trench again later. And that's a big one. The cleanouts are so important on any lines that you've got to make sure that you can clean them out somehow. I've seen a lot of jobs where they installed some pump lines, things like that overhead. There were no cleanouts, and it's not a smart thing because you've got to cut them in later, and you don't want to do that. But sewage doesn't care about gravity or your schedule. Do it right, or you do get to come back and do it again. And it's a crappy situation, literally. So make sure that you're doing it. Make sure you've got the line sloped right. Make sure you've got your check valves. Make sure that you can clean it out if something does happen to the system and you can actually maintain that system. And I think that's the key. You're muted.
Randy and I have both done lift stations, so we completely get it. We understand it. We know what it's all about. So it's very important to do everything right. If you don't, you'll have a problem with it later. I want to jump into the questions here just for a second. Yeah, Matt, I want to know why you and Randy are coordinating on these topics before I even get to see them. So, this thing here is crazy. But y'all do what you got to do. I understand, and you are special. Derek Sutton says, being a plumber for I'm not sure if that's 8 months or years or whatever, not able to keep a long-term job with the company. Now, suggesting we don't understand all that, Derek. Sounds like you're looking for a job. What I would do is literally get out and talk to the biggest plumbing companies around you that do the type of work you want to do, whether it's commercial, residential, or what. I think residential plumbing is a great place to go because it allows us to become superheroes, and you can make great money doing it. And I don't know any companies down in Wellington, Florida, but guys, if any of y'all do know some companies down in Wellington, and can help another plumber get a job, go for it, man. It works. And Matt says, I want to give Las Vegas Separate Services a shout for coming out and pumping down our station, lift station in the last minute. Yeah. Man, they are so good. Like when you got somebody that does that and they can jump and get things taken care of when you need it, it is fantastic. All right, we're going to roll over into social media spotlight. We're talking HVAC at HVACS. Tradesmen with great camera presence, walkthrough installs and mistakes. Features brand neutral tool reviews, before and after shots, which is Randy's favorite. Strong follower base in both techs and DIYers, and I love that part. Tell me about this. What do you like about this?
HVAC School. Name's in the title, guys. HVAC School is an online source for content related to technical training in the fields of AC, heat, ventilation, and refrigeration. You can go in here and actually learn some technical things. They focus on real applicable training for techs and contractors, as well as general education for the industry. And 42 million views with 418,000 subs. They've been on here. They're doing the right things. 8 years is when they started. That's what I was thinking. I know it was really close to you I wanted to double check though, because it's been a little bit. But even like this, guys, you look at how they started brazing. Going back to some of the basics of HVAC, I'm not a super big HVAC guy. I'm more the pipe fitter that does the piping and things. But I've had to braze so many refrigerant lines and things like that, helping the HVAC guys out. Because I was kind of a retro superintendent. We're the jack of all trades. We work on a little bit of everything and go help each other out all the time. So, like, that's how I got to deal with TXV valves, things like that. And it was cool running some of that piping to these air handlers and find out, okay, they don't all just run on chilled water. Wait, there's some different things. Oh, okay, these are smaller units. I always grew up dealing with big units instead of small ones. So it's cool to go in and actually see some of the different things that are out there. How to evacuate an HVAC system. Some of it's popular. Teaching you how systems actually work. Electrical basics. That's the thing I like here. It's going through learning the fundamentals of HVAC. And that's a good thing for people to learn. It's a great knowledge bank. And like I'm always talking about, I like to go see how other people do things and learn everybody's ways and techniques, because you can go through here and you can find a different way to braze maybe. You never know. It could be better, could be worse, but sometimes you may need that different way because this joint, oh, well, I can't do my normal. I'm going to have to kind of hold it in one spot. I can't get around to the other side. How do I deal with this? Some of these other people out there could show you a different technique that you've never seen. So get out there, do some exploring, and do some learning. You know, that's what a lot of this is about. I like the educational style layouts that he's got here on the thumbnails. You can kind of tell just by the thumbnails, you're here to learn about the thing. And I think that that's pretty good.
And it's look, I like this consistent colors. I mean, it's a good looking channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What all they got going on there for HVAC and stuff?
You know what? That HVAC's on the other end. They have everything from tin building, where they have to actually build some sheet metal.
Yep.
They've got units set up that they have to go through and troubleshoot and do some things with. So they've got, you know, I love Cummins.
Yeah.
Because it's like I said, it's not just trades, it's all skills. And it's everything from cake baking to cake decorating to computer programming to flying drones to IT. I mean, they teach everything, but not they teach. They come here to compete.
Yep.
I remember last year walking over there. They've got these obstacle courses for testing, and like the heavy equipment, you have a backhoe, and you literally like pick up a bowling ball off the top of a safety cone. So they've got the bowling ball sitting on it, so you got to get your teeth just right around the cone, pick it up.
Yep.
Then swing over and put it down on top of another cone. And I mean, that will teach you hand-eye coordination, or test it, not teach it.
Yeah.
But that will literally test the heck out of it. So it's just so much neat stuff. And I mean, you can see what they're doing here. They've got basically, it's like a section of a bathroom. And they're putting in a floor drain. They're putting in the toilet. They're putting in the vent pipe, tying it all together. They're putting the water lines in. There's so many different things that they're doing here. Like right in here is where the water lines, you see that the holes are already drilled because they don't have them doing any drilling. And I'm showing it with my cursor, but I guess my cursor's kind of doing.
Yeah, I can't see it, right?
Yeah, but you look at the pipe. Each one of these booths are set up exactly the same. They've got the exact same drill holes. There's cast iron, there's PVC, and they're literally, it's such a neat setup, and I love seeing them do it. So I've got to come watch this now for the last 3 years. I think it's a great thing to see. I mean, you look, there are 51 contestants here competing in plumbing.
Yeah.
51 contestants. And guys, this is just the plumbing area. This building is huge, and you go through the whole building. They've got plumbing here, they've got HVAC, they've got teams that are actually building like a section of a house where they're putting in plumbing, electrical, carpentry, roofing, masonry, all kinds of stuff. So it's such a neat thing to see. It's such a neat thing to be a part of. And it makes it a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I like to see that they do a lot of larger competitions now, not just the little union ones that
you bet.
Started right after I finished.
But and even the union competition, and I love it because, and they do the same thing here. They've got different levels. You've got a local. So,
Yep.
yours was a competition at local 100. Then you go to maybe a state, maybe a regional, and then to a national.
Then national.
So it's just really, really cool. And then even the ones that win here can go compete in world. And I think last year the world competition was in China. And man, they say that the people that are running it and doing it, man, it's just it's serious. Bob, the director here in plumbing, is fantastic. He's here every year, and I always come in, say hello, make sure I have permission to shoot video and do all that. So it's really, really neat.
Awesome.
But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get out of here because I'm gonna go meet with the plumbers here in a minute and give away some swag. But I want to tell you, if y'all want to learn to do what I do, it's social media is a great thing. It's a great way to get your stuff out in front of other people. But to me, it started with YouTube. And it started with YouTube because I understood YouTube is long form video content that basically you can cut, repurpose, and share other places. And I've had a lot of people ask me to teach them how to do it. So what I did is I started it with a free webinar. You can go watch it and figure out if YouTube may be something that you want to do. And if it is, I highly recommend going to www.justmetroger.com because I'll dispel some of the myths that are slowing you down and keeping you from starting. So if it's something you're interested in, go check it out. And after you do, come back in and let us know. I would love to hear and see what all you think. Squirt, I'm going to let you finish it up. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here so I can get over here. They're going to let them break here in just a couple of minutes. And I'm going to be there. And then we'll read through the questions if you have time. You've got a few that just popped up. Squirt, thank you so much for being here. I won't be here tomorrow. You've got tomorrow yourself because I'm on a plane.
That's it. You be flying.
Right. Well, you better drop that truck back home so you got stuff to do.
I know it. That's it.
All right. Guys,
Enjoy.
thank y'all so much. Remember, whatever you do out there today, do it safe and have fun. Thank you, Squirt.
Uh-huh.
Right. Bye, guys.
Everybody, we would like to thank Leak Pro for sponsoring today's episode of the Trade Talks. They let us come in here, hang out, and get to talk trades with you for an hour, Monday through Fridays, each and every day. And Leak Pro builds the most precise leak detection system for professional plumbers. I always suggest checking out the complete kit at www.leak-pro.com. It's kind of the business in a box. It's going to cover you for indoor or outdoor leaks and being able to pinpoint locate those. But also, if you're not familiar with how to do it, give me a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. And I offer a 2-day in-person training here just outside of Dallas, Texas, that I'd love to discuss with you. I go through teaching you how to line locate, pinpoint locate leaks under a slab, outside of a slab, and even how to determine where a sewer system's leaking. So give us a call at 1-8888-LEAK-PRO. A couple more quick questions over here. Make with Mike. Howdy. How's it going? There's a lot. Hold on. Okay. What's the best pipe in Florida you'd say is best for a drain field from a commercial plaza store? We don't do a lot of septic. It's a septic, but the smell is running through the drains. We have 4 drains in the bathroom. In Palm Bay, Florida, it's a Clinic 1 story. Man, like like here, I would say most of them are going to end up using PVC with a clinic. I'm not sure which type of clinic, just standard or not. They could be dealing with cast iron and stuff, but with it being a septic system out there for a drain field, I'm not sure personally. May have to jump back in here and ask Roger another time. Let's see. Mega Doofus, guess what you're asking is if you should learn the trade of plumbing or continue specializing in pipelining. Honestly, if pipelining makes you happy, I'd stick with it. But if you want to learn more about the trade, you can definitely go in and learn more about plumbing. Either spot will be a good spot to learn. Have a good one. Got that covered. Derek, have a good day. Like the video for sure, for sure. Hey, man, Bailey just got a haircut yesterday, brother. Everybody, happy hump day. I hope to see you back in here tomorrow. So tune back in, get out there and hit it effing hard because you know I'm gonna. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.